Welcome back to Midnight Movie Club and my review of The Tomorrow War. So let's have a rundown of the synopsis. In The Tomorrow War, the world is stunned when a group of time travellers arrive from the year 2051 to deliver an urgent message. 30 years in the future, mankind is losing a global war against a deadly alien species. The only hope for survival is for soldiers and civilians from the present to be transported to the future and join the fight. Among those drafted is high school teacher and family man Dan Forrester, played by Chris Pratt, who's determined to save the world for his young daughter. Dan teams up with a brilliant scientist and his estranged father in a desperate quest to rewrite the fate of the planet. First off, wow, I'm gobsmacked by how much I actually enjoyed this film. Last week when I watched the trailer, I thought to myself, this looks terrible, it looks like an absolute mess, I'm really not looking forward to it. Went in with pretty low expectations, came out absolutely loving it, had a great time with it. The time travel in this film actually makes sense for once and was explained super well. Honestly, they don't take like 10 minutes of exposition, giving us this huge reason behind the time travel aspect and how they managed to pull it off. They give us like 2 sentences, boom, it's explained, we're locked in, we're ready to go. And that is a testament to the writers of this film. I'm pretty sure it's from the same guys who done Terminator Dark Fate. Didn't see this coming, honestly. If you've seen that film, you've seen this, it's night and day, honestly. And the way the pace actually kicks off from the very start of the film, we get a protagonist, we get his want and his needs, and we get an obstacle, and then we obviously get our inciting incident, all within 2 pages of the screenplay. Probably we're 2 minutes into the film and all of that is already on the table. We're good to go, but it doesn't rush things from there. It's honestly about 20-25 minutes in before we actually see the first alien. It does take its time getting us there, but in that period of time, it's just set up the stakes so well. We get to know the cast of characters very well in that short period of time, and they're instantly likeable and you actually give a shit about them for once. So going on this big epic journey seems kind of relatable and realistic, and at the same time you care. Honestly, it all makes for a recipe for a really fun, emotional, impactful film. And once we do see those aliens, they look awesome. The creature design was fantastic, and the CGI for the most part was brilliant. In some places it was maybe a little bit iffy here and there, in the lighter kind of day moments when you see them in full bright light, and you do see them during the day a lot, which is great. They do not hide the CGI at all, but honestly 90% of the time the CGI is fantastic. In some places it felt like World War Z and Starship Troopers with a little bit of Alien and Aliens in there too. They definitely got some inspiration from Alien. I won't say where and how, but yeah, I absolutely loved it. There's this one scene in the middle of the film, I won't spoil anything, but it's just one of the bases that's under attack, and it just really reminded me of Starship Troopers, and we get some fantastic shots. The cinematography in here is really great with keeping up with the pace of the film and the action itself. We get a lot of sprawling wide shots that shows the absolute destruction and the scope of this invasion event, and I really loved that. And the CGI of all the skylines, the smoke and the flames is all really well done as well, but we get some of these shots in the middle of the film and it's by God, where did these come from? It looked fantastic when these aliens are attacking this base. We've got gunships shooting them down off high walls. It just looks like something straight out of World War Z with them all clambering over, but like I said, reminds me a little bit of Starship Troopers as well, and I just loved that. There was some epic, truly epic sci-fi action shots in here. If you're a sci-fi lover and you love just explosions and aliens, this is the one for you. And the film is just full of really cool high concepts, honestly, and they all actually work. It all pays off and it all kind of comes together in the end and, ties itself up in a neat and tidy little bow. No need for prequels, sequels or anything like that. This is a movie that just done what it said on the tin and done it in a pretty decent runtime. It is just a little over 2 hours, but I have to say, I didn't feel that once during the film. A couple of times I did feel like it was 3 films stitched together into the one, but that honestly didn't bother me because you get the whole saving the world film, then you kind of get this father-son hunting movie, you get this father-daughter movie, It is like a little bit of free film stitched together, but you know, it weaves in between them so naturally, it doesn't feel weird. It just does it really well, and the pacing throughout, with so much that they had to like cram in and fill, they've absolutely nailed it. Not once does it get boring, not once can you not keep up. It just plods along at a nice steady pace the whole way through, and yeah, they pulled it off really well. There were some side characters in here that I do feel were underutilised a little bit, because some of them were actually funny, and for the most part the jokes were actually good. There's a couple here that just elicited like no response from me at all, but it's nothing where I went, oh well, that was really stupid. There's one character in particular that reacts to a certain scene in a certain way. If you see it, you'll know what I mean, and it's just funny. It will make you laugh because it is relatable, and that is the way you would react in that situation. I feel with not focusing on these side characters too much, though, it gave us more time to care for Chris Pratt's character Dan and his daughter Murray, whose relationship is really like the bedrock of this film, and I really bought into it. It's a relationship where I actually cared about both of them and the outcome, and at some points may even be a little bit of a tearjerker for some of you out there. So honestly, that was like the centre of the film, and it actually worked. If that didn't work, it might have brought everything else down with it, but honestly, it just worked. I cared about the two of them, and I really wanted them to have, you know, that happy ever after ending. The movie also has really good sound design for the aliens. They do this clickety-clackety thing, and when they're getting shot up, all the splats are very good and very nice. The weaponry sounds good and meaty. So all round, sound design is well on point, and it's very well mixed as well. Overall, the music was good and epic. It's nothing iconic, but it's good enough to hype up the tension in those big action sequences. Don't get me wrong, it is a big dopey sci-fi action movie, but honestly, if you suspend your disbelief just a little bit, I believe you will really enjoy this one. It does do a lot of things that we have seen before and reminds us of great sci-fi that has come before, but it also does a lot on its own and will keep you guessing a little bit till the end and has nice little surprises throughout. I really wasn't expecting to like this one, but I'm happy to report that I loved it. I really did have a good time. It's a great popcorn movie. If you've got Amazon Prime, you know, grab a couple drinks, grab some popcorn, sit down and just enjoy this one for what it is. I really do think you'll have a good time. Honestly, if it was like R-rated and they could have went even crazier with some of the kills in here, it could have been, you know, an even higher score than the one I'm going to give it. But, you know, for having the PG-13 tag, we still did get some cool kills and little hints to what the aliens really do and how brutal they are to people. So, you know, I was happy with that. And we do get some nice alien gore as well, which is always nice to see. So overall, I'm going to give The Tomorrow War a 4 out of 5 rating. I really enjoyed this one. If it comes out in 4K or anything like that anytime, I'm not sure if it will since it's on Amazon Prime, but if it ever did, I would definitely cop this one. Anyway, let me know what you made of The Tomorrow War in the comment section down below. Did you have as much fun with it as I did, or did you completely hate it? Honestly, it's always fun hearing everyone's opinion, even if it's an opposite of mine. We'll always have a good chat here on Midnight Movie Club. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, please do leave it a like, and if you haven't already, then subscribe to join the club. As always, thank you very much for watching, and good night.